Good evening, Canterbury. Welcome to this NewsMakers Extra. Well, the primary school sector is bracing itself for the biggest revolution in a generation. Come next year, a triple-pronged package of reform will sweep through primary schools. National standards, a new curriculum and a new program for disruptive students. Joining us to debate the winds of change, the President of the Canterbury Primary Principals Association, Denise Torrey, former teacher and National MP Nicky Wagner, and the MP for Christchurch East, Labour's Lianne Dalziel. Thank you very much for joining us. We are going to begin with national standards. Why are schools worried about standards, Denise?
Well, I think schools accept that there needs to be some sort of guidelines in place these days for teachers, and all boards of trustees in schools understand that we need to report to our communities about achievement, and that's their job. We're worried because interpreting the data from national standards could be very simplistic, and if the media gets hold of them and puts them into league tables, then you're going to have a ranking in newspapers that just gives very simple top to bottom spreading out of schools. That will stop really good conversations happening in schools.
I'll come to the media-related concerns down the track. From a parent's point of view, do you accept there is a groundswell of concern and pleading, really, for more straightforward, performance-based information as to how their child is doing?
I don't know about a groundswell, and I don't know about the pleading, but yes, parents are wanting to have plain English reporting, and many schools have been doing this for many years. And I think one of the things that the National Standards is trying to give, because these standards have been developed by some very good educationists, is some examples of good reporting for schools to be able to use in the future. But I don't know where the pleading has come from. I don't know where the groundswell has come from, because we're not necessarily hearing that in our communities.
What are Labour's chief concerns about it?
I think the main concern is that setting individual schools up against each other in terms of ranking the ability of the school based on the set of national standards doesn't actually give parents very good quality information about what's happening to children at a school over the period of time that they're at the school. So, for example, the national standards won't measure how a school is performing with children coming in, say, below the standard and then raising them to the standard as they're leaving. So take Aorangi Primary School, because it's of top of interest in the media at the moment. But Aorangi Primary School has a significant number of children that come in well below their reading age, well below the standard that you would expect to see at 5 years of age. By the time those kids leave, then they're up to the standard or beyond, you know, with one or two exceptions, maybe with special needs children never being able to reach that particular standard. And so what the problem is that it doesn't actually show the value add that the school has made, and that's the problem that we've got with it. If the standards were able to be reported more generally, we've got no problem with reporting to parents, but reported more generally about what the level of value add has been at the school, then we're actually going to see some of our lower decile schools looking pretty good. Is
National's focus myopic?
No, I don't think so. And I'm really interested in what Lianne has to say, because I was speaking to the Minister today, and one of the things that we are concerned about, and I have discussed with quite a lot of schools, is exactly that, how they report progress and how they report value add. Because most teachers really want to see their kids do well, but the kids start at different levels. And the point is, the key to effective teaching is taking a kid from A to B, and they start at different places. And so, as I say, I was talking to the Minister today, and we're really interested in that progress and value added.
Why are these national standards, though, so focused on the 3 Rs, for want of a better term?
Simply because we know that if our young people are going to do well in the long term, they have to be able to read and write and do arithmetic. And we know that 1 in 5 young people come out of school not being able to do that stuff. Now, our best kids are doing as well as anywhere else in the world. So we do have a good education system, but there's a long tail of underachievement. And the idea is that we want to bring all those young people into the fold and make sure that they can all achieve.
The fact that, as Nicky refers to, nearly 1 in 5 school leavers leave without level 1 NCEA, to what extent do you think that can be sheeted home to the primary sector?
Well, I think there are a whole pile of other factors that are involved in primary education at the moment. We've been asked to do lots of other things.
Yeah.
And one of the things we spoke to the Minister of Education about is, you know, everything that happens in society gets dumped at school's door. And how is she going to protect the curriculum? Because if we could protect the curriculum, you probably would see raising of achievement and teachers focused on those things. But when we've been asked to do dog handling and all sorts of other things that are constantly being asked of schools, something's going to give. And I suspect in many cases it's been numeracy and literacy.
Can I just throw a comment at you, Lianne, that I've heard the National Party say quite regularly, that one of the big benefits of this new standards regime is that it will make it a lot easier to pinpoint what schools are struggling, why they're struggling, and the targeting of additional assistance.
The trouble with the method of reporting that the government's chosen is that it doesn't actually measure the value add at all. It sets up a school to look like it's a non-achieving school academically when its children have come in at below the level. And so it doesn't actually measure what Nicky said the Minister has said this morning she's interested in measuring. And I think that that is a concern because it's not being measured at all. And the trouble is that teachers are really being sent the message, teach this test, teach to the test, to make sure that your children get up to this standard. And there's a book that's been defined. Well, all you teach to is the test, and you get children to learn to respond to the test in a way that gets them a good score. That's not teaching children how to learn.
But is there too much...
teaching them how to pass a single test.
Is there too much woo-woo, creative, free-spirited nonsense in primary schools?
Actually, one of the reasons why children fail is because the school isn't able to provide teaching and learning opportunities for them in the best way for them. I found out recently that my best way of learning is actually... Kinesthetic, is that the right word?
It is correct.
Yeah, learning by doing. Right. That's the best way. But I actually also have an incredibly good memory.
Okay.
And so I learn things off rote. Not all children are the same.
All right, I will pick up on this directly after the break. I know Nicky and Denise are rearing to go on this. We'll be back very shortly.